Please welcome Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
Thank you.
So you were on the short list for Kamala Harris's VP pick in 2024. You're frequently mentioned as a Democratic political contender because you found a way to do the seemingly impossible, run and win 3 times in deep red Kentucky. So what have you been able to do that you can tell other Democrats they might want to think about doing?
Well, I'm willing to share it with Democrats. I'm willing to share it with Republicans too, because what we want is good government in the end.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's 3 things.
Okay.
First, while I'll stand up for all my convictions, while I'll always stand up against discrimination or attacks on the people of Kentucky, I spend 80% of my time on things that matter to 100% of the people of Kentucky or the United States. Things like good jobs, accessible health care, safe roads and bridges, safe communities, making sure that what I do every day makes life better for Democrats, Republicans, independents, just everyone. The second thing I try to do is talk like a normal human being. We've allowed advocacy speak, which was created for the right reasons, but I don't think you change stigma by changing words. I think you change it by changing hearts. And so, in my state, we've lost a lot of people to overdoses, but no one's ever said they lost a loved one to substance use disorder. They say addiction. When we talk about the big, ugly bill and the cuts that it makes to SNAP, that's about hunger, not food insecurity. Or there's a new one, and it's justice-involved population. And we have more second chance opportunities in Kentucky. We believe that makes us safer in the long run, but our inmates call themselves inmates. And then I think the last piece is Democrats are really good about the what. We get down on point 3, bullet point 4, subpoint I. But we rarely talk about the why. People want to know what drives us, especially in a world with social media where everyone's looking for the next authentic thing. For me, that's my faith. Most of the decisions I make are based on that golden rule that says we love our neighbor as ourselves, and that parable of the Good Samaritan that says everyone is our neighbor. And so when I've taken actions like vetoing the nastiest piece of anti-LGBTQ legislation that ever came through my state, I described it in those terms. I said my faith teaches me that all children are children of God. And I didn't want people picking on those kids.
100% agree on that. Now, Governor, President Trump's repeated calls to nationalize elections have been raising fears about how far he may go to interfere with the midterms later this year. You're the current chair of the Democratic Governors Association, and last week all 24 Democratic state governors put out a statement condemning the threats. But what are you doing to ensure that your state retains its ability to carry out independent and fair elections?
This should concern everyone. And it should start with the fact that he didn't use nationalize in his first statement. He said Republicans should take over elections in certain states. You know, this president does show you who he is. And he says the quiet part out loud so everyone can hear it. We're not going to let him mess with our elections.
And Governor, the White House has been pushing the SAVE Act, which would require citizens to show documents like a passport or a birth certificate to register to vote. Voter ID is something that a large majority of Americans support. Kentucky does require voters to show an ID for federal and state elections. Where do you fall on the SAVE Act specifically?
Well, I consider myself pragmatic. You know, I think that we can agree that election security is an important thing. But when you create policies that are so onerous, you push people out who have the right to vote, who should be able to register. And so I think on any policy, you got to look at what's reasonable. What is a form of ID that the vast majority of Americans have or can secure? What are your policies that are going to make sure that those that don't have that form can get it and can get it easily? I think we look at what do we want the end game to be? I think it's everyone who has the right to vote being able to vote. And how do we form our policies around that?
Governor, you've called the events that we've been seeing in Minneapolis the bloody Sunday of our generation. President Trump said last week that he was going to take a softer touch on immigration enforcement. But there's no indication his administration is backing down. In fact, they are now trying to remove Liam Ramos and his father, do an expedited removal of that 5-year-old child. But do you expect this crackdown to continue throughout the country? And what is your plan for your state if it comes to Kentucky?
Well, every ICE agent should be withdrawn from every city and every community that they're in. This organization has to be reformed from the top down. Secretary Noem needs to be fired, and every agent needs to be retrained. I mean, I was Attorney General in Kentucky, the top law enforcement official. The aggressive actions of ICE you don't see with any other law enforcement group anywhere. The idea that you don't need a judicial warrant to storm into the home of an American is just wrong. And we've got to make sure that this organization, in the way that it acts, is going to respect all of our rights. There is a body count of American citizens right now because of the actions of this agency. That should be enough to say we're going to take a pause, we're going to pull everybody back, and we're going to try to get it right.
We hope that happens. Governor, the annual National Governors Association meeting is set to take place later this month, and it's usually a bipartisan meeting of governors all across the country. President Trump has decided only to invite Republican governors to this, to this meeting, and then he's hosting a separate bipartisan dinner at the White House, and he did not invite the only black governor in our country, Wes Moore, and Jared Polis for some reason. Do you intend to be there for the dinner?
No, I ain't going. Wes is a friend of mine. Even if he wasn't a friend of mine, this would be wrong, and Jared as well. But the other thing that's going on is they didn't invite any Democratic governor to the business section. And this is when we try to get together and move the country forward where we can agree. And if he's not going to invite us to the business section, I'm not going to go to dinner, the social section. You know, my job is to get things done for our people. And so they will be without me in both of those.
Well, Governor Andrew, maybe you should just have your own governor's thing and invite all the other governors and do a separate thing from his gathering.
I would love that, and I'd love to see how many Republican governors come. How many will put being the head of their state first? Because what we're seeing right now is people that put being a Democrat or a Republican ahead of being an American.
Yes.
And we've got to see that change.